Hi, dear ones. Lisa A. Romano here, the life coach, and today I want to talk about learning how to get uncomfortable. Oh, I'm sorry, learning how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So, those of us who are beginning to understand that what's really at the crux of our unhappiness or our dissatisfaction with our relationships and perhaps even life is our codependency. So, codependents are either very closed off and they walk through life like they have no needs at all, or they have absolutely no boundaries, they have no walls, and they're throwing up all over people with their feelings and their anger and expecting other people to take care of them. Now, the closed off codependent, in my opinion, is the codependent who thinks you should read their mind and who is having the drama unfold in their head. So, I used to be, actually, I've played both roles. When I was codependent, and I think this is very common, I think those of us who are discovering that we're codependent struggle with, am I a narcissist and a codependent, and what's the difference? And I think, in my opinion, what happens is we volley back and forth depending on the type of a codependent we're in a relationship with. So when I was married, I was with a closed off codependent who on the outskirts, on the surface, looked like he was codependent. I mean, narcissistic. And I would believe, me personally, I experienced him for 12 or 13 years. I think he is. That's just my opinion. While I was with this closed off codependent, there were times where I was like, had no boundaries, and I was in my head, you know, thinking to myself, like, I have to get him to validate me. I have to get him to validate me. So what I would do is I would clean the house. Like, we spent hours and hours cleaning the house, not because I wanted to and because I enjoyed a clean house, but because I wanted this man to walk home and pat me on the back and say, good job, you're such a good wife. Seeking constant validation. Why? Let's reiterate. I'm going to reiterate it in every video. We children from dysfunctional homes never felt validated. That need to feel validated externally never goes away. It runs our life. We can be 70. I coach and train 70-year-old people, and so in their 70s, who have never gained that sense of validation from the outside world. It never leaves us. We do get angrier and angrier and angrier as we age because no matter what we do, it's not enough for the people that we're attracting. It's not enough because a couple of things. No one else could ever really give you what you need, because what you need has to come from the self. The brain has to give birth to the idea or the concept of a self. The brain has to recognize I have a self. Something that a therapist might not tell you is that it's impossible to assert yourself if you're not connected to yourself. So if mom and dad never turned on the self for you, the self needs to be turned on externally from the outside world. It's mommy and dad's job to say, you're such a good girl, Lisa. I love you. How do you feel? What do you need? What do you think? That gives me, the child, the idea that I am significant. I am real. You see me? I have a soul. So then when you're little, 2, 3, 4, 5, this integration between the brain and the soul, or the self, for those of you who are agnostic or atheist, I know lots of you, well, some of you take issue with the word soul. So for those of you who take issue with the idea of a soul, consider the self, the inner being, the soul. The word is interchangeable in my head. So when you're little and mother and father are saying appropriately, and the teachers and your siblings, and there's great respect in your family, those of us who come from dysfunctional homes know there is absolutely no respect in your home. And so mom and dad abuse you, your siblings abuse you, there's triangulation, and everybody's just throwing up all over each other and expecting everybody. It's a power play. You know, the siblings get into pissing matches. Mother and fathers get into pissing matches. Sometimes mom is only on the same page with dad if she's beating the shit out of one of the kids. Excuse me. And so, you know, we know that. Those of us who come from dysfunctional homes, we know that's our reality. And it messes with our head because we know other people are not aware of our internal, what's really going on in our homes. And that plays with our head. So we get black and white thinking, that family's good, my family's bad, or that sister's good, I'm bad, or very black and white. We have to find the middle ground. So getting back to why I created this video, Couple of things. I know I jump all over the place. So when we're breaking up with codependency, when I realized that I was the codependent that was flopping back and forth because I had no sense of self, I had no stability in who I am. I had no I am. I had no I am. My worth came from the universe, my external experiences. So I was constantly waiting to be seen. So I'll be a good wife and be seen. And I'll be a good PTA mom and hopefully they'll see me. And I'll be a good mom and hopefully my kids will see me. And I'll be a good daughter and hopefully my mom will see me. And I'll be a good daughter-in-law and hopefully they'll see me. It's maddening. So depending on the mood of whoever the hell I was trying to get validation from, that determined where I was on any given day. I was a beautiful yacht on it, and we all are, every single one of you watching, you're a beautiful yacht. And I was a beautiful yacht on this ocean that represents life and the opportunity to sail wherever I want to go, and I wasn't at the helm of the ship. I was not at the helm of the ship. And here I was in my unconsciousness, because when we're born, we fall into a deep sleep, our unconsciousness, our subconscious mind. And it's our job to give birth to the true self consciously in the mind, and resurrect ourselves and even die to the old self. So it's up to us to die to the self, be born again in the new self, and resurrect in our own mind a concept of self and live through that reality and become the creators we were meant to be and start steering that ship. So in my unconsciousness, I did not know that I was flopping back and forth because I didn't have a self, and my reality depended on your reality, whatever mood you were in. Codependents are affected by other people's moods. And so there were days where I think that my ex-husband and I, we played ping pong, or badminton or whatever, where there were days where I was the closed off codependent, and I was pissy because he didn't validate me, and so I shut down. And then if I really got angry at him, I had absolutely no boundaries on certain days, and I would just fire off. So, and he did the same thing. Most of the time, he was closed off. He was deliberately withholding and not giving me what he knew I needed. And I knew that, and that was messing with me. And because I didn't know how to speak up, because I had no I am Lisa, this is what I need, this is what I deserve, this is what's normal in a healthy relationship. Communication, back and forth, I see you, you see me. It's about compassion. It's about building you up, not breaking you down. It's about supporting me when I'm down, not taking care of my feelings, just supporting me. Lisa, what do you need? You're having a rough day. You had an argument with one of the kids. What can I do for you? That's nurturing. That's a healthy relationship. That's a healthy spouse trying to support me while I work through what I need to work through with whatever I'm going through with one of the kids or whatever's going on. So when you begin breaking up with codependency, it's difficult because you have to learn to be uncomfortable with the new perceptions that you're getting of self. I had to face, and those of my clients right now that I'm working with privately who are going through this right here, right now, I support you. Shine on, dear ones, and don't give up. Because when you begin seeing yourself, you begin to see what you've done to your children. That's tough. That is a hero's journey to stay on that path, because lots of parents aren't seeing that. They're not willing to look at what they've done to their children. And so the cycle continues. When you are facing codependency, you start to feel very uncomfortable. In my opinion, it is this that's happening. It's this coming away from, and it feels like you're pulling away. So when you become aware of self and you stop relying on the other people for validation, they're going to get pissed off. If you're in an unhealthy relationship with a spouse, the minute you stop seeking their validation and you get quiet, they're going to feel that, what's going on? I can't control her. I just gave her a dirty look and she don't care. So he's going to be ticked off. Now, when you learn to hold on to yourself, there is definitely this quantum detangling that must happen. That's really, really uncomfortable. As a codependent, recovering codependent who has new eyes, you must understand that when you said yes when you meant no, and when you said no when you meant yes, and when you jumped into conversations to fix them, you were trying to control the other person. Can you hear that, dear ones? I really hope you can hear that. On the outside, sometimes it looks like the withholding codependent or the narcissistic codependent is controlling us, but we're just as controlling because we're not telling our personal truth. So, for instance, if you have, let's say, you have a spouse who wants you to go to gamble with him at a casino and he gets drunk there and you really don't want to go. When you say yes, I will go with you, and you mean no, what you're trying to control is his reaction to you. What you're trying to control is you're trying to prevent a future chaos. And so you say yes when you mean no because you're trying to control an outcome. When you are recovering from codependency, the goal is to keep in your mind always, don't attach to an outcome. Don't attach to an outcome. So, breaking up with codependency means that we have to spend some time getting comfortable being uncomfortable until we can come down off that cross. And so I know I get very metaphoric, hang in there, but I do believe that the brain works very, very well when it's given metaphors because pictures really are worth 1,000 words. So you're going to spend some time hanging on a metaphoric cross. You're going to be really, really uncomfortable. And it really is your job, once you become aware that you have control over this beautiful, divine, amazing mind, and that up until this point, you may have been processing information through a 7-year-old filter, and you might be stuck in time. As you begin filtering information through the adult mind, through the self, the new awareness of self, then you're going to learn to be absolutely amazed by your power, by how incredible it is to live through the I am. Through, I don't want to go to the casino. Well, why not? Because every time we go, you get drunk. And it makes you very uncomfortable. And I would rather I'd rather stay home and take a bath, or I'd rather, go for a jog than to watch you get drunk. That's healthy. That's healthy. Now, in order to do that, you must, in the present moment, when your spouse or someone that you're trying to break up with in terms of codependency, start trying to break that codependent dynamic, you must understand that's going to be uncomfortable with you, and you are nailing yourself to a cross for a while, but you're going to be able to come down. You're going to take yourself down. So the next time you're in some type of a conversation with someone and you begin to get uncomfortable, accept how you feel what you feel, and then decide what you want to do about it. That's my 1, 2, 3 process. Take time in the moment when you start to feel anxiety and you know your spouse is going to ask you to do something, whether it's sex, whether it's, sign a bad check, or, go eat at a restaurant and run out the door. This is the kind of stuff that dysfunctional people do. So when you're asked to do something that you don't want to do, pay attention to the anxiety that's showing up. That's your guidance system. That's your inner self saying, I don't want to do this. And that's your opportunity to pay attention to the anxiety. Anxiety is beautiful once you learn how to navigate it. Once you say, oh, I know why this is showing up. It's trying to show me something. That's the way your soul doesn't jump out of your body, knock you on the head and say, yo, Lisa, we got to talk. Like, don't go there. That's not the way the soul works or the self works. The self works by working through the divine chakra system. So anxiety is my body's way of saying, or my soul's way of expressing the gut instinct through the nervous system. We so misunderstand anxiety in this country, in this world. So I feel anxiety. I shouldn't feel anxiety. Let me go get medicine let me go take anti-anxiety medicine so I don't feel the anxiety. But now mentally I'm in a fog because at least now I'm not aware of the anxiety. Nothing's getting fixed, dear one. Now, I'm not saying those of you who are on anti-anxiety medicine should come off. I'm not saying that because there was a time where I needed meds too just to get through a day because I was ignoring my anxiety. And my body was going crazy with asthma and migraine headaches. I was falling the hell apart. And so the anti-anxiety medicine helped me get through a day, but it didn't solve my problems. And so my journey and my life, I have committed to sharing this awareness. Awareness of what? Awareness of the amazing supreme power we have to control our destinies. when we are willing to wake up and take accountability for how we feel, for the anxiety we feel. What is it trying to teach me? What is it trying to tell me? Accepting how we feel, feeling what we feel, and deciding what to do about it. When you get to that point in life, it's a great, great place. It's awesome. Awareness is awesome, but it's tricky because you're used to controlling other people by saying yes when you mean no and no when you mean yes. You're used to anticipating an outcome and trying to head it off at the pass by being Mr. Nice Guy or being, Susie Sunshine when you feel like the opposite. So learning to break up with codependency and breaking up with being a codependent means that you must consciously understand it's supposed to be uncomfortable. And your job is to not fix it anymore. Your job is to say, stand in your truth. This is how I feel. No, I don't want to go to the casino. And Tom gets angry. And you just watch Tom get angry. And you learn to say things like, I can understand why you're angry because you want me to go to the casino. I can understand why you're pissed off. You want me to go to the casino. I can understand why you're throwing a fit right now because I've led you to believe that I'm okay with going to the casino. So your anger is partly I'm to blame for some of your anger because I really haven't been 100% truthful. I should have told you years ago I hate the casino, but I'm just learning about telling the truth now. I'm just learning that I can tell the truth. I can open up my throat, connect to my heart, see what I really want, know what I really want, and I could actually verbalize it. I actually have that right to do that. And when I do that, I step into my new role as adult and out of my child role. I'm not 7 anymore. Although this programming had me thinking and filtering information through a 7-year-old filter. And you remind me of my mom and dad, so that's probably why I filter information through my 7-year-old filter rather than my adult filter. But I'm learning to own myself and be an adult and tell the truth. And no, Tom, I really don't feel like going to the casino. And it's okay that you're angry. I can understand that. I'm really sorry you feel that way. And I really hope that you do great at the casino. I'll see you later. I'm going to go take a bath. So you're going to be uncomfortable when you learn to have conversations like that. You're going to be really, really prickly. But you got to learn to accept that and just sit in it. And be proud of yourself because sitting in that type of discomfort represents the fact that you're healing. You're not taking care of this. You're not being attached to an outcome. You're not trying to control Tom anymore. You're okay if he's pissed off. You're okay. Adults are okay when other people get pissed off. Healthy adults like, okay, sorry, you feel that way. This is my truth and that upsets you. Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. You can be pissed off and I can be pissed off and we're allowed to do that. You're okay and I'm okay. Even if you're angry, you're okay. It's okay. It'll pass. And if it doesn't, oh well. You don't want to talk to me anymore? It's okay. No problem. I am good. I am good. With or without you in my life, I am good. And I have the ability to go out and make new friends. And I have the ability now because I learned how to turn this self on and I know how to speak finally. I can go out and create anything I want. I can be a gardener. I could be a dancer. I could take dance lessons. I can go back to college. I can save my money. I can live on my own. I can find a roommate. I can really balance out my checkbook. I don't know who uses checkbooks anymore, but you know what I mean. You get me, right? So anyway, dear ones, I really hope that this video has inspired you to understand that it is possible, absolutely possible, to kick codependency in the butt. But not without. You got to understand, you got to get used to being uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. That's all part of the process. So you will spend some time on the cross being uncomfortable, absolutely. But within you is the ability to override that, to get comfortable with it, take yourself down off that cross, that metaphoric cross, and begin living your new life in your new mind. Namaste, everybody. I bow to the love and the light in you. Bye.